America, welcome to TNT News. Our news will blow your mind. Today, fluffy kittens. Wait, just a minute. Just kidding. Today's news is on Cambodia, a country under devastating rule, and the civilians are suppressed through torture and terror. Peasants and middle class are being relocated to concentration labor camps in the hot, dry countryside. This is all under the Cambodian communist leader, Pol Pot. Sounds like hot pot.
Yes, it is terrible, isn't it? Luckily for us, we have eyewitness perspective from our field agent Amanda.
Good morning, TNT News. Reporting live in Cambodia in Phnom Penh. It took us many years to track her down, but today I will be interviewing an eyewitness of the devastating Cambodian genocide. She is a woman of many strengths. Experiencing such a traumatic event at only 11 years old, she's been in and out of countless mental asylums, including the infamous Briarcliff Mental Institution. So Ari, can you tell us about your childhood and experiences in the capital at this time of tragic death?
Many people died in the capital. Bloody hell. Blood was everywhere. I witnessed an ex-soldier and his family shot and beheaded. According to the soldier, he was an enemy to the communist regime. It was not an ideal part of the community, where he was supposedly accused of being a spy. Oh, it was absolutely horrible.
Were there any other deaths you witnessed? What else happened? How did it feel?
The village teacher was killed along with the monks in the Buddhist temple, and an hour later, a group of Chinese immigrants and Muslims were gathered up and shot in the streets in front of many witnesses. I can't even remember that day out of my mind.
So, would you say Pol Pot's regime from 1975 to 1979 has brought nothing but terror to Cambodia?
Yes. Yes. They shot M20. They burned down my house, killed my siblings, and beheaded my parents in front of me.
There. And there you have it, live from Cambodia. Now, back to Station B.
Wow, this is really depressing. On to some lighter news. What's worse than the 1970s fashion? The Cambodian Genocide! And
You're not participating.
excuse me, party pooper.
Mail time. The mail's here. Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail. Thanks, mailbox. We just got a letter. 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 Wonder who it's from?
So what do we have here? First of all, we have a question from a concerned ex-senior from Russia.
Is Cambodia still able to export and import goods from the world market?
Well, ex-senior, during this time, the Khmer Rouge was focused on building a strong agricultural base, supported by small industries. The goal of the Khmer Rouge was to create a self-sufficient country, so they have isolated themselves for a temporary bit of time. So no, Cambodia did not export or import many foreign goods.
Okay, so this is from Charles Broad, age 13, from England.
Okay, so what is communism? Anti-America!
Okay, onwards to the email. So, from Megatron42,
What do you think will be the effect of this event in the far future?
currently the situation in Cambodia is very dangerous and is affecting their country's population greatly. This situation has caused a lost generation, as about 1.7 to 3 million were killed or dead, leaving the younger generation to raise themselves. Plus, the strong cultural differences may enlarge the generation gap between those who have experienced the regime, the older generation, to those who are trying to reform or revive Cambodia, the younger generation. The regime has left long-lasting mental effects on the older generation, such as shell shock, shock, and trauma.
However, Cambodia's lack of communications with the rest of the world globally is extremely small, if not non-existent. Cambodia would have to rebuild its economy and reform and rebuild their government. The future for us is most likely a lesson to be learned on how not to let this happen again in any country.
I see. So Pol Pot has killed many, most likely those in the middle class and those who are associated with education, religion, and the previous government of Cambodia in order to achieve his model of an ideal communist society. So how is the world reacting, mainly the United States of America?
Okay. So currently the world has not done anything yet. Cambodia has completely isolated themselves and have prevented any outside news coming to the Cambodian citizens and any from going out to the border. The US is too busy with the Cold War to seem to want to get involved. In fact, in previous years, it has bombed Cambodia and Vietnam in the Vietnam War due to the two countries' close proximity. It has pulled out Cambodia, and with the end of the Cambodian Civil War, has led to a lack of government structure, weakness, and chaos in the nation. Many underground parties have popped over the country, Pol Pot's being the most powerful, came to power.
The communist regime is quite influential, isn't it? Well, we have a few guest stars here to elaborate on the situation. We have two special guest experts today. Jose Stalebread, an expert on communism from Moscow, and Ben Kiernan, founder of the Cambodian Genocide Project at Yale University. Now, could you tell us some things about it? It sounds very important and difficult.
Well, actually, we're mostly concerned with those involved and working to help Cambodia fight against communism, because communism is
No, it is not. Cambodia needs to be a communist country and rule so everyone is equal. With our help, they can become the modern and developed country. Duh!
No, there are people who have unalienable rights and should not be tortured like animals.
No, shush peasant, you are wrong. I support Pol Pot, who's trying to create a communist country by force, because that is the only way to do it. I support the expansion of communism in Cambodia. You know why? Because I'm a commie. Woo! Khmer Rouge! Yeah!
It would help Cambodia, but we just finished fighting a war and we don't have the resources or capabilities. We're too late. We feel sorry, but
It's too late! Anyways, woo! Pol Pot!
you know what? It's not too late.
Whoa, hold on. We'll be right back after the break.